Have you ever opened a car door during a hot day, probably sometime in the summer? Well, notice when you do, the inside of the car gets really hot. That's because sunlight is going through the windows of the car, but when it bounces back to try to get out of the car, it's not all getting out. That heat inside the car has nowhere to go, either because the car itself isn't properly ventilated. So, the car gets hotter and hotter. The longer you leave your car in the sun, the hotter it's going to get. Greenhouse gases are essentially the car windows. They're molecules in the air, and when sunlight enters Earth's atmosphere, it hits something on the ground and it goes to bounce back. Some of that heat is caught in the gases. This means itself that the heat in the Earth stays there. When the heat stays there, it means things are getting hot. In and of itself, that's not really a bad thing. It keeps the Earth warm and livable. But really small temperature increases for the entire world cause massive changes elsewhere and everywhere. If warm winds shift to another area, that means that entire weather patterns can be affected. Rainfall changes, more or less, are really important. And if it's hot, the ice can melt at the North and South poles. When this happens, the ice itself turns to water, and that water gets added to the sea. Hence, the sea level rises. These changes are incredibly powerful, and it's really similar to what happens to your car in the summer.